Harold.
Yeah, where is everybody? They're coming back?
Yeah, where is Gerard? In the hospital?
Yeah, he's in the hospital. He fainted in Shul. They took him home and he fainted again, but now they said it's a stroke.
Oh,
And he has
shit.
COVID too. They tested him, he has COVID. Oh, yeah. And Marlene just came home. She was in rehab for like 3 months.
I know.
Hey guys.
I wonder if we should have the
Okay.
serum tomorrow.
Okay, so I was just talking to Ernie about having the serum tomorrow. So it's up to we would like to err on the side of being careful, because basically that's all I need. Ernie and Bernie were right next to Gerard. I was not near Gerard, but they were right there when he went down. Ernie ran right away. I sent Ernie right away. If you want to know, I had the Aliyah. And I looked at Gerard. I said to Ernie, go to Gerard right away, because something's up with him. And Ernie went over right away, and then everybody came. So, and then he must have had the stroke, must have been at home, because before he didn't have the stroke. But he had COVID, apparently. They said he had COVID. It's a rapid test. I don't know. COVID, yes. COVID, no. Could it be? I'm not going to argue with the doctor. So just you guys decide. Mario, what do you want to do?
I think we should cancel.
Okay, but we could postpone it for a week. It's or whatever.
We'll postpone it. It'll be postponed for
yes.
longer, because my kids are not all here next week on Sunday.
It's the yeshiva week.
It's a yeshiva week. They're going or whatever, and I would like my 2 children. So when they come back, but she's going to watch Column on Sunday. They're going up there.
Let's rather be safe.
Better be safe. Exactly. I agree.
Okay, so we'll postpone it for 2 weeks. What can we do?
Okay. We'll.
In 2 weeks, I'm going to Israel, so then we're not.
Okay, when you come back.
You'll take us all to Israel. You'll take us all to Israel. That's it.
Listen, I think we should listen. My brother-in-law postponed it for some date in Israel. So let's make it. I will may make it the same date.
Same day.
Postponed it for. We'll decide. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
No, it is what it is.
Yeah, I just got to call Errol now. He's not going to be impressed either, because so I don't know what's going to be with that. So we definitely have to do it at a different stage, because otherwise I won't get my credit back.
Okay, listen. Okay.
Oh, Bernie.
I think it's
Bottom line.
Okay, we'll figure out a date and then we'll coordinate with everybody.
Yes.
So we're on Moed Katan, Moed Gimel. That.
By the way, Ernie,
yes.
I changed for tomorrow to 8:24, just to let you know.
Okay, tomorrow night we'll learn at 8:00 in the evening.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just telling you, I changed the thing from 7:30 to 8:24.
Okay, and tomorrow at 8 p.m. So we were talking about whether Shemitah is Rabbanon or Deraisa. So Rebbe holds it's on Rabbanon. Rava Omar, Filu Tema Rabbanon. Our Mishnah could be the Chachamim who hold that Shemitah is Midaraisa. However, Avois Asarachmana, Toldois Loy Asarachmana. That Charisha and Zriya, plowing and seeding, just like by Shabbos, we have 39 Av Malachos. And then under each Av Malacha, there are Toldos, like fathers and children. There are real Av Malachos and then there are Toldos. Now, the Maisa, there's not much difference between an Av and a Tolda, but by Shemitah, it is. That Zriya and Chrisha are Asr Midaraisa. And the other ones underneath them, for example, somebody who irrigates seeds, that is only a Tolda of Zriya. And therefore, that would only be Asr Midrabanan. Tichsiv, Uvashana Shvi'it, in the 7th year, Shabbat Shabbaton Ye'aretz, Sadcha lo tizra. Your field you should not seed. Micht, Zmira b'chlal Zriya. Zmira is pruning a branch. When you prune a branch, it causes more growth. Uvtzira b'chlal ktsira. Ktsira is harvesting wheat, Bitsira is harvesting grapes. Now, Lamai Hilchusa Kasvina Rachmana. To what halacha did we have to be told about Bitsira and Zmira? They're already part of Zriya and Ktsira. So, Lememra, to teach me, the Ahani Toldois Mechayiv, that these Toldois, Zmira, a Tolda of Zriya, and Bitsira, a Tolda of Ktsira, is Chayiv Midoraisa. But Achroniisa lo Mechayiv. But other Toldois, other minor malachas that fall under those headings, like weeding and hoeing, lo Mechayiv, it would only be Asr Midrabban. Freak the Gemara below. What are those other minor malachos, not avois, v'atanya? I'll show you that you're not correct. Sad chaloy sizra v'karma chaloy sizmor. Ainli alazeru of izimor. That's seeding and pruning. Minayla nichush le'idul chisuach. What about nichush, which is weeding? All of these are like different kinds of weeding actions. What about that? Talmud Lomer sad chalo, karma chalo. Lo kom locha shebet sadcha, v'lo kom locha shebet karmecha. No kind of work. Minayin shein mekarsmin ve'mezardin ve'mefazkin be'ilan. How do we know that you can't prune trees or dry branches or cutting off big leaves? Talmud Lomer sad chalo, karma chalo. Lo kom locha shebet sadcha, v'lo kom locha shebet karmecha. No work. You don't fertilize, you don't remove stones, you don't cover uncovered roots with dust, you don't smoke, I might think that you can't do a little bit of raking underneath olives. Don't fill holes with water. Or make a moat around grapes. Talmud loymar, sadcha lo sizra zriya b'chlal ha'isa v'lama yatsa laki sheleh lo melacha. Mazriya miuchedes avodah shebesod v'shebekerem works in a field in a vineyard. Avkolshi avodah shebesod v'shebekerem. So you've shown me all of these malachos are usr. They're not. So the Gemara says, you know what? Yeah, they're usr, but midrabanan. Ukara asmachta b'alma. And the pasuk is just an asmachta, but it's still only midrabanan. Freak the Gemara, the kishkush b'shvius misharis. Is kishkush allowed during Shemitah v'aksiv? V'ashvius tishmetena unetashta. Tishmetena, you should stop milakashkesh. Unetashta milasakel, to remove stones. So you can't do kishkush. Amar Rav Ukar Bar Chama, trei kishkush have two types of kishkush. Chad avrui ilni. One actually improves the tree. The chad sasumi pili. The other one just sort of fills in the cracks in the ground. The avrui ilin osir. Stumi pili shori. The kind of activity that improves the tree is prohibited. Plugging up the ground is not itmar. Charish b'shvi is if you plow during Shemitah, Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Elazar Chadamar loike. One says you get malchus. Chadamar ain't a loike. One says you don't get malchus. Leimim Ravavin Amar Rabbi Loi kamifligi. Dam Ravavin Amar Rabbi Loi. Kol mokum shenemar klal ba'aseh. When you start off with an aseh, like Shabbos Shabbason Yela Aretz, that's an aseh. That's a general mitzvah aseh. And then uparat beloy sase. Then it says sad chaloy sizra. That's a detail. It's a lot. Now we normally have a structure called klalu pratu klal, but in this case, if you start off, but those are all. If you start off with an asay and then with a lot to say ein daran oso beklalu pratu klal, you don't do a klalu pratu klal. Man Damar Loika, less like Rav Avin Amar Biloi. The one who says you get Malkus doesn't agree with this. And you would treat it as a klal upratu klal. Man Damar Eina Loika, Isla Rav Avin. The one who says you don't get Malkus holds of Rav Avin that it's a klal upratu klal, and therefore there's no Malkus. More says low. Kulama less like Rav Avin Amar Biloi. Nobody holds of this din of Rav Avin. Man Damar Loika Shoika, Loika, because it says Loi Sadcha Loi Sizra. Pruning was part of seeding. Bitsira is the same as harvesting by grapes. So what? Why did the Torah write it? Da'ani told us to the Machayiv. These told us you're Chayiv midaraisa. I told Achrina lo Machayiv. Another told us you're not. More of a love. Atanya sadcha l'sizur v'chamach l'sizmor. Ainli alazir v'zimor. Minayin le'iter l'kishkush l'chisuach. Tamad lomer sadcha lo karmach lo. Lo kom l'choshe b'sadcha v'lo kom l'choshe. No work. Minayin shein mekarspin v'mizardin v'mefaskin bilan. Same things we said before. Tamad lomer sadcha lo karmach lo. Kom l'choshe b'sadcha lo. No work in a field. Kom l'choshe b'karmach. No work in a vineyard. Minayin shein mezablin v'mefarkin v'mashkin bilan. Tamad lomer sadcha lo karmach lo. Kom lachash b'sad chalo, kom lachash b'karm chalo. Liacholay kaskes tachas zeizim lader tachas gefanim v'lemelad nekoy mayim v'leyasu gul zefanim tamad lomer sad chalo. Sizra zriya b'klal ha'isa v'lama yatsa lakish elea. Lomer l'cham mazriya miyuchedes avodah shebesodim shebekarm. Of course, you avodah besodim bekerem. So, how do you say that these things are not us? The Gemara says midrabon and cross machta ba'alma. Yasa Rav Dimi, when Rav Dimi came up from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel, Yachol Yilkel Toisefes, I might think you get Malchus on Toisefes. We don't know what Toisefes means yet. The Nasiv La Talmud L'Petura, but I'm going to bring you a limud to say you're potter. But V'lo Yadana my Talmud and my Toisefes. But I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what Talmud you're talking about. I don't know what Toisefes you're talking about. Rabbi Elazar Amar. Charisha, we're talking about plowing. V'achi kamar, yachol yilkel charisha. I might think you get malchus for plowing. The asim eklalu pratu klal, v'nasiv le talmud l'petura, but I'll give a svara that it should be potter. The imkain, kolani prati lamali. Why are all these other details by Bitsira and Zmira mentioned? It's only on those ones you get malchus, but on different malchus, on different actions, we don't get malchus. This is not talking about plowing. It's talking about just like we have Toisefes Shabbos. We start Isra Malacha of Shabbos, even before Shabbos. And we have Toisefes Yontif, we have Toisefes Shemitah. That for a period of time before Rosh Hashanah of Shemitah, you also have to stop working the field. Let's say you do work in the Zman of the Toisefes. I might think you'd get Malchus to Asya Mebecharishu v'Katzir Tishbos. But the Nasiv La Talmud L'Ptur Kedabayin L'Meimer L'Kamon. Maya. Susie, who's there? There have been strange people coming to the door. Have you had that in your homes?
You just Magda. You got to be careful nowadays. It's crazy out there.
No, there was a weird, when I was at a business dinner.
Yeah.
He came to the doorway. Susie didn't answer it, but he was yelling, and he ended up going to Fran's and multiple people's houses. I don't know what happened to the guy. They got to get rid of this Gascon, but they got to get rid of him like immediately.
We got to get rid of Soros. He's supporting all these terrible people. Terrible.
Soros? What, in Los Angeles?
Yeah, Soros funds all these liberal DAs. The one in New York, he funded. Yeah.
I know,
terrible.
but Gascon, they had to get the.
Oh, he has to go.
He has to go. Okay. What are we talking about days before Rosh Hashanah? Kiditnan. Ad Mosai Chorshin B'stei Ilon Erev Shvius. up until when can you plow in a field that has trees the year before Shvius? Beis Shammai omrim kol zman sheyafa lapri. You can do it as long as it's beneficial for the fruit. Ubeis Hillel omrim only ad atzeres, only until Shavuos. Ukroiv and Divrei Elo liyos ki Divrei Elo. They're both really the same period time. V'ad mosai chorshin stay alav in the erev Shvius. And how and when do you plow a regular field erev Shvius? Mishatichla lecha, when it's not moist. The kol zman shebnei adam chorshin lita mikshos midlos. Whenever people are still plowing for gourds and zucchinis. Reb Shimon Omer in Cain, but then you don't have a set shear. Elab is there loving at a Pesach, a regular wheat field until Pesach. Is that not at Seres? Ubeis Hillel oimrim at a Pesach. Dino nimnu al shnei prokim alolu uvitlu. The Chachamim abolished this Isser that the Chachamim had in the 6th year, and they permitted you to do plowing until Rosh Hashanah. How could Rabbi Gamliel and his Bezdin, who are hundreds of years after Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, be mevatel a takon of Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel? Vatnan. Ein Bezdin yochel levatel divrei Bezdin chaver elam kein gadol mimenu b'chochma v'minyan. A later Bezdin cannot be mevatel the ruling of a prior Bezdin unless it's greater b'chochma v'minyan. You're not going to say that Rabbi Gamliel's Bezdin was a bigger Bezdin than Hillel and Shammai. So Eshtomim k'shachada, he was quiet for a minute. Amar le'emer kachisnu b'neim. Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel made a t'nai. Kol harod levatel yavo v'vatel. They put into that takana that later on they could be mevatel. Frank the Gemara.
It's a pity that the other Basei Dinim didn't put that in.
Right.
Believe me.
Wait a minute. They have a stronger kasha here. Frank the Gemara, did he? What, you think this is a takana of Beis Hillel Beis Shammai? Halach l'Moshe misinai. This din of Erev Shvius is halach l'Moshe misinai. Dam Rav Asi, Rav Yechim, Mishum, Rav Nechunya, Ish Pikas, Beis Chorton, Eser Netias, the din that if you have 10 plantings in a field that you can plow up until Rosh Hashanah, it's only those kind to benefit a field, but by the other areas you can't plow. And Arava, the din that you take the Arava on Hoshana Rabbah, the Nisu Chamayim, and pouring water on the Mizbech during Sukkot, halach l'Moshe misinai. So how could Rabbi Gamliel Beis Dino be mevatel halach l'Moshe misinai? On Rav Yitzchak Kigmir Hilchasa, when they taught the halacha l'Mishinai, that was only Shloshim Yom of the Rosh Hashanah. That was a ban on plowing 30 days before Shemitah. The Asuhani Takami Pesach Matzeres came Beis Shammai Beis Hillel. They extended it until Shavuos and Pesach. And those guys, Beis Shammai Beis Hillel, Osnu B'didu Kol Haroitz Levatel Yovav Vito.
Hold on, so that's expanded for 6 months before?
They expanded the Isser for 6 months.
For 6 months before.
6 months before.
So in other words, they say you can plow and you can work for 6.5 years, for 6.5 years. At the end of the 6th year, 5.5 years. At the end of the 6th year, for 6 months, you can't do nothing.
That's correct. The halach l'Moshe
But I don't think that's the halacha. Is that the halacha today?
Yeah, the halach l'Moshe Sinai was 30 days.
I understand, but
they extended it.
Right.
So let me read you what the Rambam says. Halach l'Moshe Sinai, she'osur la'avod avodas adama 30 yom lefnei shnas hashmita, b'nei shehu mitakna l'shana haba. The gazru chachamim v'yisifu shelo yakru shdei ilan ela adat seres. A orchard with trees, you could not plow, only you had to stop plowing Shavuos. The Sodet Tvua Ada Pesach. And a grain field, you had to stop Pesach. V'halachos eile hein rak bizman shebeis hamikdash kayim. Aval la'achar churban habayis, muteres avodas ha'adama ad Rosh Hashanah k'divrei Ravashi. We're going to get to Ravashi on Daf Daled, that you can
So-
plow until Rosh Hashanah. So the Gemara says, how can you say Hani Hilchasan in
So
the
the
Gemara?
halacha,
So the halacha today is you can go to Rosh Hashanah. But like I said, Bizman Shebeis HaMikdash Kayim, but after Churban, the work of the field is permitted until Rosh Hashanah.
so if we were to build the base mikdash,
However, Netias Atse Pri, fruit trees, Osru Af Bizman Hazeh, Michodesh Lifnei Rosh Hashanah, Shenira Ki'ilu Neta B'Shvius. So even fruit trees, we have to stop today 30 days before.
okay.
Let's finish the blot. Freit die Gemara v'ani hilchasen in a kroinin, it's psukim, this nan, v'charish, u'v'katzir, tishbot. Rabbi Kiva oimer ein tzarech lomer charish v'katzir shel shviyas, shari kvar never sad chalotiz rav v'kar mechalotiz mar, ela charish shel erev shviyas, shenichnas l'shviyas, v'katzir shel shviyas sheyotze l'motzei shviyas. Okay, so the Gemara is going to say, well, it's not the halacha, it's really psukim. Okay, so tomorrow 8 p.m.
8 p.m. But Mario, do me a favor.